Clans are closer than they appear. What's going on, everybody? Doc here. Let's get into some Last Day on Earth news. I was just getting ready, sitting down to do some recording for the rest of this week's videos, or at least a couple of them, and boom, we got hit with some news. Some very interesting news. Let's jump into it here today. I'm going to bounce, take a look at the pictures here, and then we'll talk about just a couple of my thoughts. Lots of discussion going on in the old Discord, and I think it's pretty good. Hit on a couple of key things, and I'll try to highlight some of those that the group was talking about. But let's get into it. If you're not familiar, here is the update, and this is from the official Last Day on Earth Discord. And if you want all that news, you can join our Discord. We pull all that news info in as well. It says, "Hey survivors, winter is coming." I'm actually really excited about that. Winter Despair event is launching in December with changes, which is good. Maybe. We'll see. It says, "It's time we tell you about the new features of the Christmas update. Winter Despair event is launching in December. So, a couple of weeks. I would usually expect we would see it. I actually need to look. When this season ends is probably about when we will get it. Generally, that puts us, I think, around the end of the first week of December, which tracks. And then we'll probably have the event. It's usually like a week or so before, and typically runs through Christmas and a week after Christmas, or give or take around there, at least in the past. It's coming with some changes. New lineup of reputation rewards. Here's what I'm scared about, is they lock them behind a paid wall. If they don't do that, that will certainly be a Christmas miracle. It's going to be a black market. I've talked about recent events, how good this is. Being able to get reputation points, have the reputation track where you get rewards, and have a black market where you can choose what you want to spend is really interesting. This one's going to be a little bit different, though, I think. Event items can be obtained not only in holiday locations, but also in permanent ones. This is good. So if we see something like we've seen in the past with either collecting lights, or we've had to collect other types of like currency type items, you can pick that stuff off of regular enemies, which is interesting. Sometimes it's been implemented well, sometimes it hasn't. When they've become really, really hard to find, that's not super fun. But if they're pretty plentiful and you can exchange them, that's good. And if it helps to focus on locations that you want to clear anyways, things like Bunker Alpha, Port Lab if you're doing any runs there, Farm, even Blackport PD sometimes if it lines up, those are all good. If it's the basic locations, that can get a little tedious, at least in my opinion. However, if you can go and, let's say, get them over at the swamp location or in the northern region or island region, then you have a little bit more incentive to farm those, and that can be okay. So we'll have to see on that. That could either be a really, really solid change, or it could be kind of, it depends how they implement it. Unique event rewards. New hardware for your home base was something that a couple of folks called out. I'll talk about my thoughts on that. A unique skin, pretty well expected. Floppy with a weather condition. Listen, if it's not snow, I don't want it. Okay? It's not snow, I don't want it. That's not true. I want different weather conditions. However, snow would be great. And a new type of animal. This is interesting. I have a few thoughts as well. That one stuck out to a lot of people. And then new locations for co-op, which is interesting because we don't have any locations for co-op. We're going to talk about it here, and I have a feeling we're going to be doing another video here relatively soon as more information comes out. Let's talk about that last one. We're adding areas where you'll be able to play with your friends. Cool. Inside of the main game. Interesting. Some folks are for this, some folks are not. We'll have to see. It says create clans of up to 10 people, divide into groups of 4, and set out to new territories. So here's what I'm going to say up front. 10 groups of 10 is fine. That's a decent little clan. That's cool. You got a couple of friends. That's good. Groups of 4 is interesting because 4 is not divisible by 10. You would have thought, I would have at least thought, the clans would have been at least 12 people. That would have let you run 3 groups. Let's say all of your friends are on at the same time, and you can set out to these new territories, which is sounding like it's going to be these specific locations dedicated to co-op, which is okay. What I'm interested to see, here's what I think, a couple of things in co-op. One, lots of folks are concerned about the group size and how that's going to work and how those things are going to line up and what you're going to be able to do. if we can complete these locations without being, let's say, in a group when we start, because my Discord, for instance, folks were talking about, there are folks from all over the world. Now, there's a crossover of time that we could probably all get on, or some of us play. However, with all of those things being said, not everybody can be on at the same time. So you have to be logged in and queued in at the same time. That's a little tough. If you can go and complete these things and just do them with friends or help your clan as you play the single player experience, I think that will be better received. Not that it wouldn't be fun to clan up and play together. I just think it needs to try to do both. And that's a difficult thing to find the right balance. But I don't want to talk too much about clans, but that's what they're saying. So we have a little bit of info. Clans of 10, groups of 4, and new territories, as we would imagine. Participation will earn you individual reputation as part of the Christmas event. So that's good, right? If you go. Now, the key is, can I go to the location without 4 friends and still get some stuff done? Because if I can, that's going to be great. And you're also going to help to improve your clan rating. So there's going to be a rating system, leaderboard, whatever. A high clan rating will allow you to get the most valuable rewards, respect, glory, and other clans' envy. Now, that's something to fight for. Here's, I think, the other concern is this going to be a clan versus clan type of battle system or ranking system or leaderboard system? Or is it simply just levels to the clans? You get your clan together, you got a bunch of active members, everybody participates, you just level up and kind of unlock the tiers. There are very different ways to do this. I would be okay with both options. I'd be okay with folks wanting to fight for a rating that maybe gives some additional rewards, or like a leaderboard style. However, with that being said, if you could just join a clan and everybody likes to play, and you could just work with your team to level things up, and then not have to worry about what the other clans are doing, I think that's actually kind of cool too. And I think there's quite a few games out there that do something similar that I think is interesting and good, because it means if your clan is active, you almost don't even have to care about the other clans, because again, you're just going to open up those other doors. You're going to open up those other sets of rewards. So we'll have to see how this goes. Lots of folks have been asking. I am currently thinking about how to implement clans. However, I will say this. If you are looking for a clan, if you want to get participation in, I'm going to do stuff on our Discord, set up a clans channel, try to help some folks up, to link up with 10 folks, at least at a minimum, to help with that. I will probably be in one as well, and because I want to enjoy the game, and we'll figure out how best to do that with the community. But I know lots of folks, especially if this comes out and the rewards are really that good, or that extra reputation or whatever the case is going to be opens up those most valuable rewards, especially if they lock, like, I don't know, storages or something behind it, then yeah, folks are going to want to be able to get in teams with folks that are playing and consistent, and hopefully that's easy to implement. So come on over to the Discord, we'll figure stuff out, and we'll certainly help each other to make the clans as best as we can. All right, let's talk about a couple of things here really quick. We have 2 little sneak peeks that I want to get to. I'm going to jump over to Discord to show better images of those. New hardware is interesting. I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about the animal, because I think those are good. And yeah, we covered everything else. Let's jump over to Discord here. Here is a higher res image of this. What this looks like is a little bit of like kind of a maze / puzzle. So we have 2 rooms, and what I notice here is there's red lights on the doors. If we zoom in, there's red lights on the doors here, right? You have this door that has a red light that comes in that's blocked, okay? You have a couple areas that looks like you can kind of get into, maybe searchable lockers, I don't know, kind of look, you might have a hard time moving around in there. You have an entryway or another door here. You have the power system, and you have a terminal actually over here, and some switches and some buttons. It feels like this might be kind of like a maze, right? Where you're going to need multiple players in to kind of help maneuver through the maze, open the different doors, push different buttons and levers and things to open those things up. That's cool. Again, what concerns me a little bit, about something like that is where the case of can you do it solo, right? Are you able to do it solo? And again, Only time will tell on that. Here's another picture that we have. Again, same thing. Maybe an entrance over here, hard to tell. This looks kind of blocked off. You got what looks like one of the energy panels, which you can flip on. Think kind of like the factory basement. Got a door here. This gate looks like it's blocked, I would say, but you have 2 entryways here, another panel, another switch of some sort, potentially over here. So it's cool. It's giving me kind of like pseudo factory, pseudo bunker vibes, sort of, which could be cool. I can imagine like all 4 players going in and kind of everybody spreading out to like unlock doors and help each other move through, which would be really neat. Kill zombies along the way, maybe get to a boss fight or something like that. Could honestly be pretty neat. That being said, if you can't complete this, even if it was like just 2 players could complete it, maybe it took you a little bit longer, more resources, that would be fine. But I am really worried about if all these locations are focused solely on trying to get 4 players in at a time in a group, that's going to be pretty tough. And I think that's going to be a little bit of frustration for folks because being able to kind of set up your teammates and your clans is going to be interesting. But those are all things I'm thinking about. I'm not necessarily super worried about those. We'll have to wait until we get some more info. But this looks cool, right? And I do definitely get like maze vibes is what I'm thinking, which would be a great way. Teammates, maybe separate again you on each of your own kind of paths and you come back together and go back out or whatever the case may be. That could be a good way to let everybody kind of explore and help out while also, you know, adding to the team aspect. Let's jump over to our account here. And I want to talk about a couple of things. So hardware. Hardware is an interesting one because in the map, in the roadmap, they talked about some additional storages. I think hardware could potentially talk about additional storages. I don't think we're going to get any type of like benches or anything like that. Hardware could also talk about maybe unique elements like this. I did go ahead, by the way, and I did buy this when it was in the shop because I really wanted it very badly. But we could get some other cool stuff like this. We could potentially get some other type of ore generators or things to do with those, right? Hardware is like very, very broad. The last thought I had that I think is the most likely is it's going to be something kind of related to our mannequins. Hardware in terms of maybe some way to like put armor, maybe even put weapons on, maybe, I don't know. I'm just really trying to think about what we could get that would be beneficial or neat to have here. And when they say hardware, it's just like, it could just mean so many different things. I wouldn't be surprised if it was also a storage. I really wouldn't. They've talked a lot, again, in the roadmap. They talked a lot about different storages. We've had storages from Winter of Despair event before. They actually haven't had a new storage too recently, right? We got the lockers. We got a couple other things. We got the explosive storage. But event-tied storage, especially if it links up to clans and has everybody kind of chasing for it, could be certainly a really cool reward, something to really get players, try to get them engaged into that. So that's interesting. The other piece that it talks about is animals, and somebody said cats in our Discord, which would be really cool. We could get some roaming cats. You've got the cats that lounge around, the Forlorn Fair, Factory, a couple other locations from time to time. We could also get other pets like this little guy, potentially, as well. So that could be kind of neat. I don't think it'll be necessarily infected or genomes related, but maybe, because it is Winter of Despair event, and I would expect we're going to see some genomes. I'm not sure, actually. I don't expect another breed of dog. I think we're pretty well capped up on dogs. Not that they couldn't do another one. I just don't think we're going to see another dog so soon, especially related to just the event. I think we're going to see something that's either an animal at the base here in a cage, or maybe we can get some cats lounging around. I don't like cats in the dog crate also doesn't really make sense. So I'm not really seeing a whole ton of options for them there, but I could be surprised. Maybe it's like, I don't know, what's winter related? And it says new animal. That's the crazy part. New animal. Maybe we're finally going to get our horse. We do have the trough. It's here. It's here, folks. Can you even still make this? I actually don't think so. What? There are some things that they did end up taking out for stuff that you could build. I'm getting punched right now, which is not very nice. I'm gonna punch you back. I'm trying to make a video here, guys. Ease on up. Get away from me. Jeez. I tell these nice folks about what's so rude. I actually don't think you can make that anymore. Let's see. It's not technology. I don't know why I would even pick that. Let's go look for here. Horse feeder. Yeah, it's locked. Coming soon. I have it. You could build it some time ago. You used to be able to have, there used to be a saddle too, I think, in the actual build menu. Maybe that's it. That'd be sweet. That'd actually be really sweet. You get a horse, have a horse walking around the base. I like that a lot. Cats would be cool. I like the idea of cats. Cats would be pretty neat. This is all just seasonal rewards. So let me know what you think. That's a little bit of news here for it. I don't want to belabor this anymore, but that's what I'm thinking. I'm also, again, trying to reference, like I said, back to some of the roadmap things that we saw. If you aren't familiar, Boggy Region did get pushed back. We're going to see that sometime next year, which I don't think is bad. If Winter of Despair is getting a good overhaul, and we're going to see clans, here's the thing. Timing-wise, we know clans is close. Clans is very close because they're going to implement it. Even if it comes at the same time, we're talking probably a couple of weeks at best, which is crazy when you think about it, because they're talking about locations for the clans. I would imagine that we're going to have, I hope, multiple, but also there might just be other things to go do with your clan in this. So it's going to be interesting to see the rollout of that, plus Winter of Despair. We might get one before the other. We may not. I don't know. It would feel good if we could get our clan established before the Winter of Despair event kicked off. But we'll have to wait and see. If they're teasing what they've teased already, tells me that it's pretty dang close, right? They're actually giving some screenshots and they're talking about some of the specific details. It means that it's on the way. So I have some news here for you today. I'm going to wrap this video up and then I'm going to see you in the next one. I'm on our main account and we're cracking some drone blueprints. We'll see if we can get lucky, and I'm about to record that right now, but you'll see it tomorrow. So be sure to stay tuned. If you got any other thoughts, drop them down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what stood out to you from the posts. Again, if you want all the details, go do the official Last Standard Discord or swing on over to ours. You'll get all that news and you can come chat with us as well. We got some resource channels, whole lots of other good stuff, tons and tons of Last Standard content on the channel for you to enjoy. And I'd ask one last favor, hit that subscribe button for me. It really does help us out, and we're on the road to 10K, our next big channel milestone, and we're closing in halfway there. Really excited about that. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.